Hello family and friends, it's Kim here from Kim's Country Corner, and today I'm in Monroe City, Missouri, and I am at my senior housing apartment complex. And I've been up here weeding and taking care of the gardens up here, and I thought that since they're looking pretty good, I would do a real quick walk around and show you my garden, the south border garden, and some of my neighbors' gardens. I did get permission from my neighbors to show you their gardens also. I just want to share with you all that no matter what space you have, you can plant something pretty or something to eat. Anyway, I'm going to take you on this walk. It is the day after Mother's Day. I hope everyone had a great Mother's Day weekend. I know I did. John took me to St. Louis, to the Missouri Botanical Garden. It's a beautiful garden in St. Louis, and I hope to be able to share that video with you sometime soon. But anyway, it's a huge garden with lots of little gardens in it, and today what I'm going to show you is a bunch of little gardens as part of a housing complex. So all right, let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so I'm going to start the walk around up here at my front door and at my apartment garden. And here it is. My boxwoods really didn't do too bad. They have just a little bit of browning, but I can trim that off. I think they're going to be okay. My irises were beautiful. They were the yellow and red like what's out at the farm, but these bloomed a lot earlier, and I didn't think about getting a picture. The daylilies are looking nice. There'll be also a red and yellow combination. As you guys know, I had blanket flowers in there last year and they drowned. So I'm going to be, I think, just planting zinnias this year, unless I can find some coneflowers that I like. But I don't have a lot of money to spend on perennials this year because we kind of went through our budget on bigger items. So I may just be going with a bed of zinnias for this year. I will eventually get my fairy gardens put back together. But this is what my apartment garden looks like here in the middle of May with a lot of rain. It's actually dried out pretty good today, but anyway. All right, so let's go look at some other gardens. So my neighbors, they always like to do tomato plants. And once in a while some peppers in there. So they have some tomato plants started. And then this over here is the south garden. And I am responsible for it. I took it on as a volunteer, and I've enjoyed doing it. The daylilies have not bloomed yet. Some of on this side, some of the boxwoods look fine. Some of them look halfway there. And then some of them just are completely dead. So I don't know what's up with the boxwoods this year. But I've kind of had a roller coaster ride with them this year. So. But I wish they all looked like that one. That one's beautiful. And I don't know why that one looks good and this one down here looks good, but then the ones in between don't. So, don't know. My roses are looking good. The mums are coming back. The sedum is coming back. This bed here is just thick with daylilies, roses, daylilies, roses, daylilies. some Asiatic lilies, dead boxwood, some sedum down here at this end, another, whoops, get him out of the way, another mom we planted last fall coming up. Her cornflowers came back. They didn't come back last year, but they came back this year. So very happy about that. In here, I'm gonna be putting in some zinnias. I'll probably do that before I leave. And then once again, we have lilies, roses, lilies, roses. Back in here, some bee balm. It's coming up nicely, but see, look at that boxwood there. You don't know. Then these here, I'm gonna have to ask around. I don't know whether these are a ground cover. Okay, and then this here, I'm gonna have to ask around. I don't know whether that's a ground cover or a low flower or a weed. So I might have to have John come up here with his plant identifier and tell me what that is, because it is just taking over. See, look. Back here in the back is going up the walls. So that might have to get pulled out sometime. But I don't want to pull it out until I know for sure what it is. Look at these. I did not plant these, but aren't those beautiful? Those did not come up last year either, but they're making a showing this year. Our roses are starting to show. Look at that. I can get my shadowing this way. Look at that beautiful rose. And I thought I had all the weeds, but there's another one. And then up here, see that in there? Yep, and more buds. Daylilies, roses, more roses. I don't know what kind of roses these are because I did not plant them. But aren't those pretty? These red roses that you're seeing, these are all knock-knock roses or knockout roses, and they're red. And then of course the Asiatic lilies, they're coming up. Here's some columbine that we got planted last year. It's looking good. One with a weed I did not see. Got a few weeds down in there. Okay. All right, so there's a columbine. It's looking pretty good. This here was a mangle of sweet peas, and it was getting into everything. It was getting into that flower garden. It was getting into the rose bushes. So they asked me if I could just dig it up, and that's what I'm working on, is getting rid of the sweet peas. Okay, so now we're up on the east corner, the southeast corner up here. And this morning I worked on pulling a bunch of sweet peas. The sweet peas were just taking over. They were getting into the south flower bed, they were getting into her flower bed. So they asked me if I could just dig those out. So that's what I'm working on. And we are going to put in an iris bed right here. I have a bunch of irises out at the farm that need to be dug up and separated. And I thought they would look real pretty here in this corner with all the rocks. Okay, and so then going on around to the front here, her rose bush. This one here has not started to bloom yet, but you can see it has lots of buds on it. It is always so pretty. And I'm sure it's gonna do much better now that I've gotten all the sweet peas off of it. The sweet peas had just literally used this rose bush as a trellis. So I got it all stripped off and looking good. And then here's the front bed, the hostas that I planted last year for her. And then we're gonna put in a little flower tub here. I need to figure out what kind of annuals will tolerate shade. So that will be my next project. Here is some beautiful roses. And then she also has lilies coming on. Oh, here's a weed I did not see. Oh, that's a tree. I'm actually gonna have to come back with my clippers. I keep thinking I've got all the weeds and then I keep finding them. Okay, so here's my front neighbor. She is on the east side and she has a tree in the front yard that provides a lot of shade, so we have to go with shade-loving plants. All right, and then we have a new neighbor here. And she also likes to garden. So I had told her about how we revamped her rose bush last fall, and it's looking good. And then she's got some lilies coming in here. And her peonies, I cut the peonies all the way back to the ground last year, and they have flushed out beautifully. And she's got some tomato plants. She'll probably need to move them out into the sun. But yeah, she's got some tomato plants there, although they do get the morning sun because she's on the east side here and they took down her tree last fall. So she actually gets morning sun now. So her tomato plants are probably going to be okay. I'm so used to that being shade. Okay, then we're going to go on around the building here. This here is the north side of the building, so we don't have anything planted on this side. Squirrel. We made him a squirrel tree over here. All right, so this is the north side too, but they get quite a bit of sun. They get the west sun coming in. So John and we came up here last year and framed out a new bed for her. And she had thought about doing flowers, but someone left her a bunch of seeds as a surprise. So she has a little vegetable patch going here. She has some onions. I'm not sure. Beets. Looks like those are beets there. Looks like sweet peas maybe. She's got her some hanging baskets. Yes, even in a small area, you can do a lot of gardening. She's got that looking very pretty. Kind of reminds me of, what's that rabbit? That likes to get into the briar patch and eat Farmer McGregor's vegetables. This looks like that little vegetable patch. And then down here, I helped this neighbor out with her flower bed. And she's got some columbine growing back there. It makes a nice little shrub. She's got some daylilies. She's got a rose bush that has buds. It has not started yet, but they will bud out soon, make beautiful flowers. She has some irises. She has some sedum. This here is mint. She likes to make a salve with it, and she likes to use it in teas. She likes birds, and I had these extra bird feeders, so I brought them up for her. We have a little bit more mint here and some daffodils there, a few weeds. I need to get back here and weed for her. And then her peonies are looking super good. Even though they're on the north side, they do get quite a bit of sun from the west here. So they are able to do some planting in their front gardens also. And then, since we had 2 trees taken out last fall, the board gave the 2 ladies back here permission to make a raised bed. And they did a really pretty good job here. They took cinder blocks and stood them on end, and then they put timbers going across, and then more cinder blocks, and then this row of timbers are in the second hole down. So yeah, they didn't want to have to bend over to do their some of their plants, so they made them a self-made raised bed. And they couldn't keep their timbers from rolling, so they used duct tape. They didn't have a screwdriver and screws, so they duct taped it together. I told them I would try to get John up here to make it more sturdy for them, but I thought that was pretty ingenious. And then down here they put cardboard to keep the weeds out, and then they have a little rock collection going on down there. So yeah, I thought that was pretty ingenious, and I had to share with you. All right, and then we're coming around here to the west side. This front west side, or this northwest side gets sun now. But the southwest side down here still gets a lot of shade from these trees, which I'm kind of glad, because I would like to try to do a shade garden through here. And I've already got 1 hosta plant, so, and then I also want to try to do a stumpery, and I have 1 stump. So yeah, and then there are my 5-gallon buckets for my tomatoes, which I do not have yet, but will. And then we are back to the beginning here. Okay, family and friends, well, I hope you enjoyed the walk around up here at the senior housing apartment. There's the different gardens up here. Everyone kind of has their little garden in front of their apartment. And then we have the long south border. And we have another apartment complex across the street here. And they also do all of their front gardens. They don't have quite as much room as we do because the sidewalk is much closer to their doors, but they do a really nice job with the area that they have. And this side over here faces north, so they have a lot of hostas in there. But I like hostas. They're a pretty leaf structure, and so I enjoyed looking at them. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the walk. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to know more about what's going on in my corner of the world, hit that subscribe button to Kim's Country Corner. All right, I will talk to you all later. Bye for now.